Friends, we are back with the PLC programmable controller, and we also told you in the last sessions that we have lot many design blocks which are similar to the normally used computer, and the heart of that or the brain of that is a processor. So this processor module, it contains the PLC's very own microprocessor, its supporting circuitry, and its memory system. So this memory system or the memory design which is used in the processor of PLC is the topic of this video session, and we shall be going in for the slight details of this microprocessor based system having memory, and this can be used in other system designs as well, in addition to the PLCs which we are studying over here. The main function of microprocessor is to analyze data, and this data is coming from the field sensors, and it's not directly coming from the field sensors, it is coming through the input modules. So once all this data it comes to the PLC has to execute its own program to make decisions, and this program is written by the user. Ultimately, this program returns the signal back to the field devices, again not directly but through the output modules. The field sensors, they comprise of switches, flow, level, pressure, temperature transmitters, etc. And the field output devices can include motors, valves, solenoids, lamps, audible devices, and so on. And the memory system in the process module has two parts. We will be discussing in detail as in case of the computer systems. This too has a system memory and an application memory. So this is a kind of revision which you already might be knowing, but nevertheless we will just revise it for the sake of revision itself. So we have a memory map or this organization of the memory. You have a system memory, and the system memory includes an area called executive, which is composed of permanently stored programs that direct all system activities such as execution of the user control program, of the communication and peripheral devices, and other system activities. We also have the system memory, which contains the PLC instruction set, which is composed of specific control functions such as you have logic, you have sequencing, you have timing, you have counting, you have arithmetic functions, and so on and so forth. This system memory is generally built from read-only memory devices, and we shall be discussing what these read-only memory devices or ROM, sometimes we call them as ROMs, what these ROMs are. We will be discussing this in a few slides later. The second part of the memory map organization is application memory, and this application memory, it is having data table and user program. And the application memory, again, once it is divided into the data table and the user program, the data table stores any data that is associated with the user's control program. It can be system input and output status data. It can be having some stored constants. It can have some variables or preset values. And the data table is where data is monitored, manipulated, and changed for the control purpose. The user program area is where the programmed instructions entered by the user are stored as an application control program. So friends, talking of the memories, these memories come in two different ways. You can call it two different categories. The first category of memory is a volatile memory. What do you mean by volatile memory? It means that in case you remove the power, all data which is stored in the memory is lost. So it is very important that the memory should not lose power even for a single moment. Otherwise, the whole data will get erased, and that is the major limitation. But of course, volatile memories, they have advantages of speed and low cost. That's why they are commonly used in most of the designs where the temporary storage of data is required. So common type of volatile memories are RAM. These are called random access memories, or you can read them or you can write them. It is not read only memory. It is readable and writable kind of memory. So it is called random. There is a story behind it. That is, earlier we had two types of memories. One was called sequential memory and one was called random access memory. Sequential memory was in the form of tapes. So the long tapes are there. So it actually dependent what is your current position of the reader, and then just like you have a cassette in old kind of cassette recorders, in case the memory is stored at a far away place, in that case it took long of time before you roll the entire tape to go to that point and read it. That was a sequential kind of thing, and it actually the speed of sequential memory was not very much deterministic. It all depended upon which portion of the memory is being accessed. So the actual speed dependent upon which portion of the memory is being accessed and where the current header is. Not so in case of random access memory. Here the speed is irrespective of the location of the memory. It can be randomly accessed. That's why the name random access memory was given to this kind of memory. This is also called RAM. So as we can see, the information can be retrieved or read, and any part of it can be read from any part of the memory randomly. So that's why it is called RAM. This is what is repeated, that RAM memory is used both it's used for the user memory, that is for the ladder diagrams, as well as for the storage memory in most of the PLCs. It can be used to randomly access any part of the memory. But a word of caution once again, it's very important to mention it here. It's a volatile memory. It requires battery backup to retain or protect the stored program. Otherwise, the whole thing will be lost and we will be running for our life. Friends, there are several types of RAM memories: MOS, HMOS, CMOS. But the CMOS is most popular of all. It is because it has low current drain, and the memory can be stored with voltage as little as only 2 volt DC. That makes it so popular. Now we come to the non-volatile kind of memories. These are the memories where even if the power is removed, either accidentally or intentionally, the information is not lost. So these memories, they do not require any battery backup. That is why they are called non-volatile memories. And the common type of non-volatile memory is called ROM, or read-only memory, where once you read it, the information is there to stay forever, and this ROM is placed by the manufacturer for the internal use and the operation of PLC. Just as we have BIOS, basic input output system, we have the same kind of thing in PLCs, which is stored in this read only memory. We have other types of non-volatile memory. One is programmable read only memory, because here it allows the initial or additional information to be written on the chip. So it's not to be programmed at the factory level. It can be programmed in the field. That's why it is called PROM, or programmable read only memory. And this PROM may be written into only once after being received from the PLC manufacturer. This programming is accomplished by pulses of currents, and the currents are such that they melt the fusible links in the device. So it can be programmed in the field, but it cannot be reprogrammed. That is why it is called PROM, the memory which is written in the field, but it cannot be erased. Once it is registered, once it's written, it's there forever. We have advanced kind of ROMs which are erasable. So here the links are not actually physically melted, but we have another technology in which it can be erased. These are ideally suited when the program storage is to be semi-permanent, or you can call it, we have additional security is needed to prevent unauthorized program changes. So we use EPROMs here, and EPROM has a quartz window over a silicon material, and that contains the electronic integrated circuit. The window is normally covered by opaque material, but when this opaque material is removed and the circuit is exposed to UV light, we call it as ultraviolet light, in that case the memory content can be erased, and if and when required. So EPROM chip is also called UV PROM sometimes, because you have ultraviolet PROMs, and so on and so forth. We have electrically erasable PROMs which are called E-square PROMs. That is what we are going to discuss. The next one is EPROM, double EPROM, or sometimes called E-square PROM. This is called electrically erasable programmable read-only memory, and this can be used to change the program electrically. It means that it's not a volatile memory. It can be written electrically, it can be read electrically, and when the backup power is erased, it's removed, it doesn't get erased automatically. You have to apply a special signal to erase it. So this chip can be programmed using a standard programming device and can be erased by a proper signal that is being applied to a special pin, which you call it as erase pin. So E-square PROMs or double EPROM is used primarily as a non-volatile backup for the normal RAM memory. If the program is in RAM and that is lost, in that case it can be easily duplicated from E-square PROM. It can be downloaded. So of course E-square PROMs are not as fast or as cheap as RAMs are, but they provide a good backup for any device. This was some brief view of the various kind of memories which are used in computer systems. Also we use the same kind of memories in PLCs. Also we use the same kind of memories in some of the dedicated designs. Even in embedded systems we use same kind of memories. That was the idea of kind of revising the things at this stage. So we take a break over here and we will move on for the next higher sessions for the PLCs. So I hope it's all clear up to this point. If you have any queries, you can contact me regarding these memories or the associated memories related to the PLCs. I hope you have enjoyed this session as well. I wish you a very safe stay, and we will remain in touch. Inshallah, we will be meeting soon. Bye bye.